don't know, maybe you can be as specific as you can be, but what was the timeline like yesterday, or kind of what, can you detail us what transpired yesterday?
I got a call yesterday afternoon about an interest on another school's part, and I decided to, after talking with Bruce, to at least listen to what they had to say. And obviously everything happened fast, and I could say I slept on it, but I don't know that I slept very much. But I just decided in the end, and probably mutually, because I didn't jump for joy about the other opportunity. So this is a place for me. I'm a wise man once said, you don't mess with happy, and we're happy here. My family's happy. I love who I work with. I love who I work for. I love the guys that I coach. Even kind of like the media in Omaha, which is hard to say. But this is where I want to be, and I love what I do.
Was there a moment that said, okay, this is the deal, before you tweeted it out?
I think there's part of you, if you take the emotions out of it and you look at, opportunities that present themselves, that maybe your mind says, maybe that's a good thing you ought to look a little farther into. But at the end of the day, my stomach was in knots, and my heart wasn't in it. My heart's here, and it's where I want to be. And this freshman class, I'm really proud of. I think they've got a chance to be special before they're done. And I sat in their living rooms and I told them I was going to be their coach. So I think sometimes you gotta stick true to your word and be loyal like they've been loyal.
How about Ras? What kind of factor did he play in the big picture of you making this decision to stay?
Well, I always wondered when I was at Northern Iowa and Iowa State why Dana stayed so long with all the success he had. And after working with Bruce a short amount of time, I understood why Dana stayed so long. There's nobody better in the country to work for. And besides being a great boss and really attached at the hip in terms of helping us, continue to move this program, from the Valley to the Big East and continue to get better. He's a great friend, and I had a great conversation with him yesterday. His perspective as a friend with all the experience he has in athletics. So, he was a great sounding board for me, and I think helped me navigate through the process.
Did you get further enough in the process to have a conversation with Teresa and Sydney about, what pros and cons of both?
Yeah, those certainly, those two are really important to me. And Sydney's going to be a junior in high school. She's got a great circle of friends. She loves the school she goes to and the activities she's involved in. So that factors in. She would kill me if that was part of the decision. Because as she said, it's only 2 years of my life, and then I'm going to go on to college and do something else. So, but we just, as we started to look around, there was, if you're not missing anything, then what are you really chasing? And I think we can accomplish everything here that we can accomplish anywhere else.
You spoke to Raz, like you said before, you met with the other party. Did you get to talk to him again?
Yeah. I talked to him this morning a couple different times, and we had great conversations. And he was going to support whatever happened, wherever whatever road it ended up going. He would have been supportive, but obviously I'm excited to be the coach. Had one of the media members not track that plane, we wouldn't be talking today. I would just, be up in my office or maybe teeing off on number 1 somewhere. So, but somehow that got found out.
Yeah, that's the one thing I want to ask you about. The people look at other childs all the time, are curious about maybe moving or advancing their career. In your field, though, it's pretty public. Do you ever worry about the impact that it can have on your relationships with other people, on the team or in the program, in the university? That part of it can make it a little awkward, I'd imagine.
Well, I think as long as you do it right, and certainly Bruce was in the loop as to what was going on, and I was very honest and upfront with him. But sometimes when you go through something like this, I've been here 7 years, and I really haven't seriously considered anything else. Things come your way, and you kind of just brush them off, and this one I just decided to meet with. But when you go through that process of talking with another school and learning about their program and the vision for their program, sometimes it makes you appreciate what you have, and the fact that, you know, we have a lot of great things here. There are a lot of things in place that have allowed us to be successful, and I think will continue to allow us to move forward. So again, if you know, you usually leave a job because you're either chasing something or you're running from something, and I have nothing to run from, and frankly, there's nothing that doesn't exist at Creighton that I think I need to go find somewhere else.
Go ahead.
I couldn't help but notice that there was quite a bit of outreach last night from the fan base. Did you notice any of that in the process?
You know, I tried to stay away from it. I had a lot of things to absorb because it all happened so fast. But you know, the fans know how I feel about them, and I hope they feel that way about us, that they appreciate what we do and how we do it. But you know, the fan base and the way people have treated us since our time in Omaha is certainly a big reason why we've chosen to stay.
It's a little bit on that, but you've never been a me guy, and yet today is truly about you, and your staying is kind of a weird, surreal thing with everybody like showing their emotions to you and all that, and being thankful that you are staying, at least in Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it certainly wasn't the intention, and that's what I told Bruce this morning. I didn't mean for it to get to this point. We were attempting to keep it as confidential as possible for both parties, because a lot of times meetings take place and nothing happens, and you don't need to alarm anybody. But you know, this one became public for some reason, and then you have to deal with the fallout of that. But you know, it's been really good for me just to reflect, you know, both professionally and personally, that we're in a really good place here. And you know, is there a chance we could find the same happiness somewhere else? Probably, but it's not a chance I'm willing to take.
5 more questions.
His timing obviously takes a big factor into this. If you're 15 years younger, maybe that's a different story or something?
I think your priorities change as you get older. You know, I think if I'm 40 and you're trying to climb to the top of the mountain in your profession, and you know, maybe your family's young, you know, maybe you're in a different place, and what you're looking for at that point in time is different than it is now. But now my priorities are, you know, I like my life. I like pulling into my driveway, and I like what I see when I get there, and I like pulling up to this building and walking into this office and looking out at this place. And obviously, you look and, you know, Doug's banners up there, and so there's a lot of connections and you know, threads to our family now in this building and in this program, and for that reason, I'm really honored to lead it.
Is there a sense of relief for you? Yes. You're in front of all these cameras, but now after today, maybe it goes back to normal?
Yeah, I think it'll go back to normal. You know, I have to talk to the team, and you know, they're a big reason why I'm here too. You know, I'm excited to coach them, but this is something certainly I never dreamed I'd be dealing with in the first week of June. It usually doesn't happen, and I wasn't anticipating that it was going to happen. It kind of came out of nowhere.
Does it maybe re-energize you too? Because now you, like you said, you can kind of you've done some reflecting and saying, hey, you can do everything at Creighton, then you can do anywhere in the country, right?
Yeah. I think it's healthy to be able to look back and evaluate, you know, where your program is and how you feel about things in your life. And we probably take a lot of things for granted, all of us, because you just do the things day by day, and you do it again the next day, and you get ready and you crank it up again. And you don't take a step back and really think about how lucky you are. And I'm really, really lucky to be here.